Good morning and welcome to your daily morning horoscope for Thursday, April 9th, 2026, Aries. If you've been worrying about spending too much money, the astral configuration indicates you should be able to put these worries aside. There is plenty of opportunities that could bring increased income, possibly a new job, even a new career. A lot of phone calls, emails, and other communications could bring news of these possibilities your way. Be sure to record the ones that seem most promising. Taurus, communication takes a prominent place in your life today, and your practical, direct, down-to-earth manner can be very impressive. You're known for succeeding where others have failed. This isn't lost on those above you in the hierarchy and ladder, and they know that you aren't easily fooled. Expect steady personal and professional growth and a great boost in your self-confidence. Gemini, you could be surrounded by secrets. A number of colleagues might be leaving or pursue new opportunities, and you could wonder if there's a reason for it and escape you. It might even have you reevaluating whether or not you should stay put. However, don't panic, because others leave. If there are things about the job that bother you, by all means, consider the options. Cancer, a phone call or email from a friend could open new career possibilities for you, perhaps involving the communication industry. Tales of people who have hit it big in this field could be circulating widely, but you should carefully consider all the aspects of the new option before jumping in. You don't want to have any regrets about your decision, so please think about it. Leo, communication of all sorts could be vital for you today. You might spend much of the day on the phone organizing an important event or perhaps clearing up a misunderstanding. This could make it a rather stressful day, and it might be one of these days that you just need to get through. Give yourself a bit of solitary downtime tonight and counterbalance the energy of the day. Virgo, your outlook is apt to be optimistic, enthusiastic, and practical. You have both creative and workable ideas. They are likely to lead to success, although it could take considerable time and effort to make it happen. Communication with colleagues is likely to be open, honest, and very dynamic, as projects and enterprises take on a life of their own. Work hard, make it happen, and surely enjoy the journey. Libra, tending to paperwork could take as much of your time for the day. A lot could be riding on your careful planning and projection, so you're probably taking it very serious. Nonetheless, don't be intimidated. Trust your instincts. You know what you're doing. Be very thorough. Check everything carefully, then put your plan into action and wait for it to bear good fruit. Scorpio, communications between you and either a business or romantic partner should get a fresh start today. You've gotten to know each other better and feel more comfortable being honest and open with each other than before. All signs are that any partnerships begun, renewed, or confirmed today are likely to be successful and profitable. Bear this in mind that in the months ahead, you will hit some rough spots. Sagittarius, you've been juggling career, romance, and creative interests for the past year. This is apt to continue. However, you could find yourself building a new career involving writing or speaking. Perhaps in addition to your current career, you're also apt to develop a vigorous interest in improving your health. You could make a powerful effort to change your diet and exercise habits, so please ensure you do the best. Capricorn, ingenuity blossoms when you make the effort to do a little writing. Perhaps technical manuals or other professionally oriented projects. This could present a new stage in your professional life. You're apt to do well and attract considerable attention from higher-ups. Don't get too caught up in the need to revisit, edit, or even revise and edit again. It will only take up time, and it's possible to do too much rewriting. Aquarius, are you considering moving to a new residence, redecorating, or making some home improvements? If so, this is a good time to do it. These types of projects promise to go well, so don't let doubt get in your way. Explore every possibility, consider all the pros and cons, and then if it looks like it's going to work, go for it. Pisces, you might need to make a lot of phone calls and get through some triggering paperwork today. A business partner or friend could be instrumental in helping you clear up some loose ends that have been left hanging. Be sure you get any leftover work out of the way, because soon you'll probably be even busier. If you get bored, remember that success lies ahead, so there is no need to worry. This has been your daily morning horoscope for Thursday, 9th April 2026. Do have yourself a great and wonderful day.
Morning, how are you guys doing? It is Thursday. Wake up, man, rise and shine. I don't know, it's been hot these days, but that's the time for it. That's the time of year where you can get to fly kite. It's the Easter season, the Easter celebration. So I hope you encouraging the young ones at home, teaching them how to make kites at least, not the artificial. Right. Thank you guys. We need to take a short break, but we're coming right back. On Easter Monday, we saw the launch of Tribe of Twel. Of course, we get excited every year. If there's one launch we always cover, is that of Tribe of Twel. So we went on over to, we got some footage from there, but we also had a sit down with Adrian, to, again, tap into the vision behind this year's portrayal. Well, I missed the launch, and that's on me again, because that should not have happened twice. But boy, did I pay the price this time, because my timeline was overflowing. Everybody on my timeline, and I felt, okay, Maureen, you really messed up this time around, because it totally seemed like it was a bomb. And I can't believe that I was not here. Mr. Augier,
Adrian,
the launch for 2026.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's on you. Yes.
You would not.
Yes, you should have been here.
I know.
But thank you for being here today and trying your best to make up for your absence.
Well, I have some time, so I'm going to do some more making up. Yes. I start with the gold shoes, so we're on to something at least.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The theme this year, what are we looking for? There's a lot of excitement surrounding, much to your excitement, I would believe, because it's been a battle, trying to, stay afloat and trying to ensure that persons understand the importance of striking that balance and not losing the authentic, even though we're moving forward. The evolvement must happen, but it cannot be at the expense of what is authentically us.
I totally agree. And as I have mentioned to the Director of Culture, Chairman of the CDF, culture evolves. And that is unstoppable. But culture also devolves, which is to say it can become much of a nothingness if we do not make active efforts to preserve that which is quintessentially us, that which is St. Lucian, that which is St. Lucian Carnival as a product. What are we bringing to the market, if you want to be hard-nosed and commercial about it, and how do we differentiate ourselves from what's going on in the rest of the Caribbean?
Exactly.
So I think there needs to be an active strategy. They cannot just be responding to the demand. The demand is fickle. People move on. You give them the same thing twice. The third time they're looking for something different. Really? So where is our different going to come from? It has to come from us. It has to come from inside.
Agreed.
So that's one way of looking at it. For us as a band, we are constantly trying to improve ourselves. We are not here, in glorious isolation. We are making mass, not for ourselves, but for a public, a public which involves our revelers. It also involves people who come out on the street to watch Tribe of Twel, at a time when you could argue that there's not a lot of differentiation in the rest of the carnival.
Truth.
So we feel very privileged, very honored. We feel very responsible that if nobody else is going to do it, we will do it. We will do it for as long as we possibly can, which is to bring creativity and culture and mass with meaning, which is one of our slogans, to the street, to the stage, to the people, to the revelers, to the country, to the market as well. And what is very reassuring is that people are responding so beautifully, so willingly. We've had over the years an influx of younger people into the band, which is important for sustainability. And while we have remained true to ourselves, to our calling, which is the authentic carnival, we've also found ways to incorporate younger people into the band, listen to them, and say, okay, to ourselves, how do we adjust without losing our soul? Which is exactly what I think the country needs to do. That's what the festival needs to do. It needs to grow while keeping its authenticity, because that is what people feel. That's what they respond to. That's what resonates with them. So we are very, very happy that our launch has been such an overwhelming success. And I will stop there and wait for the next question.
Talk to us about the theme, because there's always some poetic, storyline, and you don't just do that and say, well, let's call it that or let's call it that. There's always some deeply rooted, something. And some might even go as far as say mystery to some of it as well. That you get the privilege of trying to unfold when the mass is presented.
Mystery is a necessary human element. I mean, the curiosity in the human spirit is one of the strongest things. It manifests from birth. So, and that might be a lesson for us too. When you give people everything, when you show people everything, and for most human beings, this is a case in point. Okay, been there, done that, seen that. Next, please.
Absolutely.
All right. So yes, this is theater. This is a bit of history. This is drama, and you certainly don't tell the whole story in the first scene. Yes. What's the point of watching the rest of the movie?
Absolutely.
But the thing is driven very simply by gold, the desire. We're trying to understand, portray, replicate the desire for gold, which has driven so many battles, conquests, adventures, discoveries. I mean, the very reason why we became part of world history is because Europe thought there was gold here. When Columbus sailed, it was in search of gold. When the Portuguese and the Spaniards came to the Third World, they were looking for gold because their own empires were, on a point of decline, and they wanted gold.
Right.
The gold rush in America, the conquest of Latin America was driven by gold. St. Lucians went to Cayenne because there was gold there. They went to work in the gold mines.
Right.
So gold has driven human history for a long time, and we decided to just span the 6 continents and the 5 centuries of Caribbean history, and then go a little further back to ancient times.
Wow.
So we're starting off with the Greeks and the Romans.
Okay.
We're doing Nubia and Egypt. We're doing India, the eternal continent.
Wow.
We are doing Latin America with the legend of Montezuma. And best of all, we are doing Africa. The section is called Asante, and it celebrates gold in Ghana, West Africa, Nigeria, which of course is our heritage, as well as the power of gold in North Africa, Morocco, Timbuktu, story of Mansa Musa, who was probably the richest man in history ever, trillions and trillions of dollars, literally in gold. He collapsed several economies by giving away gold on one of his tours to West Africa.
Wow.
So there's a lot of history, there's a lot of angst, anguish, splendor, lust, all sorts of things.
Oh, you could really go in on such a topic, innit? You could go in deep.
So we've chosen 6 chapters, and we're telling the story of gold in the human heart, in the human history, and it's been wonderful.
Well, I think the only thing left now is to tell us how we signed up, because I know a lot of new people is going to come on board this year. I've seen a lot of younger people very excited about the product this year as well, which is really good. Continuity, like you said, and sustainability definitely looks promising on your end. I'm going to give you the opportunity to put out the information. Where can persons sign up? If they want to get more information, what can they do?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're on the web with chats and posts and reels and things that people people other than me know more about.
Right.
My job is
we're fully social.
Yeah, we're fully
with the
social,
influx of the young people. That is great.
Well,
wonderful.
Yes, and the not so young people. But we have a team working on the marketing. So I want to say thanks to Horace and Zan and Heidi and others who are really taking that on this year. Our issue has been we're busy making the mass. We can't make it and sell it and wear it and play it and everything.
There's a role there's a place for everybody.
So we're glad for the help, and we embrace it and welcome it. And I should mention our webmaster as well, who has been doing a lot of good work. So we get in there, and in the
Absolutely.
meantime, we're having fun, which is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Passion is driven.
Yeah.
And you get to unveil that in the sense of what you do. Adrian, we always look forward.
Thank you.
Every time I come into this warehouse, I don't want to leave because, there's so much presence around you, so much life, so much connect. You just feel happy in here when you step in.
That
I mean,
is-
the two young guys came in with us and they were like, wow, they didn't understand, but good. Maybe we should carry them back for one of the sessions, the
By all
basket
means,
making
actually
sessions.
we actually have an open door policy, so anybody who wants to come and see the process and learn the process can
Can
come
do that.
in. We're here almost every evening, certainly from 7 to 10, which are our peak hours, almost every day. The costumes are out, they're on display since before the launch, and we have an open door policy. So at
wanna
Warehouse
come?
11, not just Tribe of 12, but Warehouse 11, which is the home of Tribe of 12, you can come see us anytime. We invite people to come and see masks being made, come and experience it. We'll find something for you to do, cut sticks.
Oftentimes, when I do my She Speaks show, where we highlight St. Lucian women who are out there and they're movers and shakers, they're doing things, they're making stuff happen. Recently, I had the like of Dr. Amy Paul. She's a St. Lucian, she's living abroad, and she is a doctor who is specialized in elderly care. And I thought, no, this is something that does not need to be isolated because we spent some time on dementia, for example, and she's got a center right now that is catering to that. And a lot of the time, sometimes we don't take things beyond that, We take things for granted, we there, okay, people getting older, they lose their memory, and that's that, But there's so much that could be associated with that. And, and I didn't even know, I mean, as an individual, I was not aware that there are you can actually do certain things to avoid dementia. I think a lot of us are far gone, by the way, because the thing that she mentioned is the alcohol and the smoking and things. But we are society that's very much into that. But I'm just saying, the information won't hurt. So here's Dr. Amy Paul as part of that conversation. There is such a lack in our understanding. There is such a lack. And in this era where a lot of people are recognizing the need for awareness in so many different areas, I think it's perfect and opportune timing for us to open up that door now, where we can, because whether or not we like it, we are being affected by it. And like you said, a lot of our lifestyle is contributing to this. We have seen a lot more of that kind of lifestyle being, practiced amongst ourselves and our peers. So we're thinking that by the time we get to the time, there's going to be a lot more of us, like you just mentioned, who are going to be needing or that level of understanding, that level of environment to host us. But here's what, even before we get there, I had no idea that these could be prevented. I thought this was just something that happens.
Yeah,
And I'm sure
yeah,
I'm not alone with this.
yeah. And even, what we're seeing in the research is even if people who have very early dementia, we call it mild cognitive impairment, big words, but they're forgetful. You can't really leave them alone because they can dress themselves, they can take care of themselves, but they won't pay the bills, right? They should not be driving.
Right.
Even if you start these lifestyle things, so getting them connected with people. One of the people I work with in my clinic, she does dancing with them, right? Just
Oh,
dancing, social connection. There's a few like computer software things that I have available for people that you can train your. It decreases their brain age by 2 years and it slows down the overall progress. They will still have dementia, but when they get to the point where they forget to eat, they forget to stay in their house, you can push that off for a little while.
oh my God.
And it buys a family time to plan. We don't plan very well in the Caribbean. We don't do wills very well. We don't think about financial management. The kids are fighting over the land. Like, we do not do it well.
Yeah.
However, when you get something so devastating as mom doesn't even know she has children, she cannot
Right.
make a decision. So things like that buy us time to plan and make sure we're ready. So,
Right.
when the inevitable happens that this person cannot make decisions for themselves, it's not chaos.
Whoa, girl, you have thought of everything. You putting everything into such perspective right now, and opening up our eyes to so many things. Because what is the odd? Like we said, listen to me, girl. The fact that we said nothing happens before its time and everything is in timing, and it happens
Yeah.
when it's supposed to happen, and with the fact that we're having this conversation that is taking me on this journey now. Whoa. Now
Yeah.
let me get into you now as the
Yeah.
person. Certainly a lot of that, I can hear the passion in your voice, and certainly a lot of that has to do, but really is people centered, and like a really big heart and caring for people, for you to have a love, a passion leading into that direction, for you to actually have designed your entire career surrounding that. What has been your journey along that path, to date? What are some of the things that you believe, what are some of the things you discovered? What are some of the exciting things? What are some of the things that have you thinking, oh my, I'm glad I chose this? What are some of the areas that sometimes give you the little thing, oh God, why did I do this? Personally, what are some of the things,